So, I just finished Phantom Liberty last night. When I finished the main game, I thought, wow, this is a pragmatic game. Game that doesn't pull its punches. It takes you to the realities of a very dark situation and doesn't always have a lot of light in it. And I thought that was quite depressing, but yeah. Then Edge Runners came along, the anime, and I thought, wow, that's really bleak. But I know animes have this power to make a lot of things depressing in a lot of ways. And then Phantom Liberty came along, and I don't know how, but I feel more empty and broken ever before after that. I genuinely do. This game is one of the best I've ever played now at this point. Dead serious. I have felt things that this game made me feel that very few other games have felt. And yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into the discussion for the Phantom Liberty endings.
So I'm only going to discuss the endings here. I'm not going to recap the entire DLC, but I will give a short summary of what's gone down. Basically, we were contacted by Songbird or So Me in the Act 2 of our main game and stuff like that, and she basically inquired us about a very important job regarding the NUSA and President Myers, and she specifically mentioned that she could help our problem, that she's aware of what's going on. And at this point in the game, obviously, we are not looking at a lot of good options currently. We had no idea what could lie ahead at all of us, so this seemed like a very, a very optimistic ray of light perhaps shining down on us finally. So we accept the mission, obviously. We go into Dogtown. We learn that the spacecraft is getting downed with the president's side. Things go awry. We save her. We take her to a hideout. So Me or Songbird unfortunately goes dark, and we assemble the old gang of spies to help us track her down and see how we can save her and get out of Dogtown now to basically Delta out. And yeah, the first few hours of this is just your general fantastic little action and spy thriller. It's very well crafted and stuff like that. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm a sucker for spy movies and all that, and the plot and how it develops with all these half-truths and espionage and, being around people. It's well done. It's well done, really. And it's it kind of lulled me into a false sense of security because, wow, that last hour or so of the DLC where I've never seen, or I've very long ago, maybe perhaps in a long while, I haven't seen such a well-concealed story of tragedy and just a story of tragedy. Maybe perhaps going as far back as possibly Death Stranding the last time I played that, but wow, the story of Songbird and So Me, her backstory and all that, and how everything with the FIA just messed up. The fact that the ideals of both Reed and Alex, that sometimes no matter how noble their ideas seem, how misguided and how twisted it could become. Myers, obviously being a corpo, she came across as someone who felt genuine and something in the beginning, but oh my gosh, as soon as the story progressed on, we felt that knife twist in us and all that, and how absent she was as well. But yeah, Reed being so close to the code and everything, following the code so closely of the FIA, is despite being burned by them and betrayed by them in the past, and Alex, who outrightly says she doesn't trust the FIA anymore and that she felt abandoned by them and stuff, yet both of them came back running as soon as they were called upon. But anyway, Songbird as well is the objective and stuff, but the endings, yeah, as you know, Songbird was dying. That's the main reason also why behind that. She wants to have access to the bunker that contained the cure, the neural matrix, and obviously that cure could also help us. And like I said, there is a lot of half-truths baked into the story, and it kind of wraps itself open so beautifully. But honestly, yeah, this is just to go to the ending. So immediately, our main fork in the path is that when we get to we have to infiltrate the base basically, and we have to get to Hansen and the neural matrix now that we need with the access codes that we clipped and all that. And we come to the point where it's going to be either help Songbird, as she expressly said in her dialogue, where she wants you to help her, and then you guys flee together, and like you get to the Black Clinic basically, where she knows someone who can help, or you follow the normal one where with the FIA with Solomon Reed, where we get Somi, we get out, and then we sort it when we're there. So yeah, obviously a lot here. And just to remind you, like, there's so much at play here. I am reminded by this line, I think that Johnny Sylvan said, that he said, I think we in a game of seasoned players, and we have to be careful that we're not the one to get played.
You're up against seasoned players, so go out and play. Just don't get played.
Remember, the only reason we're here is that we were told we could be helped with our relic issue, and at this point in the game, we're desperate because we'd have no other avenue. We have learned nothing, even from the Voodoo Boys or anything. So, yeah, it comes down to that. So let's just talk about all the endings first. First off, let's say we picked Somi's side. You pick Somi's side. I believe she gives you a lot of Blackwall magic powers, and you go bam, bam, you enjoy your supernatural powers and all that stuff. But again, because she's been contacting us through the relic, through the Blackwall, things have gone horribly wrong because she's been exposed too much to it, and it's slowly killing her, of course. And this is where it comes down to, when you're helping her and stuff like that, she's going to drop an absolute bombshell that the neural matrix is only going to help one of you.
Neural matrix V can only be used once.
Once? How so?
It's a captive AI from beyond the wall. Relies on continuous evolution to exist. I'll free it and end the process. It'll then execute my commands and disintegrate.
Which in itself is already like big bombshell, because I mean, she's been withholding that from you for all time, and I get it. A lot of people have sympathy for Somi's backstory, and it is surely a tragic one. We'll get into it in a second. But I want to say that, like, the fact that she was willing to betray and lie the whole time through the whole game, the fact that she was willing to kill, especially when she gets to that part in the building where she was willing to kill. If you chose Reside, like, Alex gets killed, my Alex got killed, but she was willing to let more people die and stuff in that building and cause a necessary sacrifice for self-preservation. I mean, from a viewpoint, I don't want to be judgmental here, but from a viewpoint, you can see what I'm thinking. And of course, like, you get the choice then. You can either, because she falls unconscious, you can either still deliver her to the spaceship, or you can phone Reed on the Hollow, who you've now burnt a little bit because he's not trustworthy anymore because you kind of betrayed them back there. But you can phone them on the Hollow and return over to this. So I'm going to just rank them quickly, and then I'm going to go through discussing them. I think I don't want to say worst option, but my least favorable option would be the FIA options. Siding with the FIA in any case. Either by the last second handing her over to Reed, or by originally handing her over to Reed and going through the whole story where you have to kind of stop her because she's going on a rampage with Blackwall and all that. We're handing her over to the FIA in the end. And the reason for that is that you learn through her backstory, of course, that she was this young netrunner who made a lot of mistakes, big mistakes that landed her in hot water, and with that she is now kind of coerced into coming into the FIA. She gets invasive surgery in the FIA and stuff like that, and she's basically used as a tool by Myers and the organization for power, basically, which, I mean, it robs her of her life, it robs her of her freedom, it robs everything. The whole name Songbird is actually just an allegory, of course, to a bird in a cage. It might sing a beautiful tune, but it's still a bird in a cage. So it comes to that. And I think the choice to take her back to the FIA is a really tough one if you're going to make that. Obviously, you can think about yourself in this situation. You also want the cure. That's what you came for and everything, sure. If you're going to play your V as that with the self-preservation. But yeah, it's so tough, eh? I know, like, in the beginning I said she lied or betrayed and stuff like that, but, like, it's just not black and white. It's just so much layers of grey and all that, and you have to remember, like, it's kind of also you in a situation. It's where the FIA is perhaps her Arasaka, what Arasaka is to us. It just, It's this controlling corporate organization that looms over you, and it's kind of just worse for her just to go back rather than to die. To know that she's going to be stuck in that life forever, regardless of what it is.
No, please. You're leaving me to a fate worse than death.
Show me!
And again, despite her lying to you and all that, in the end of the day, when she revealed that information to you, that the neural mates who could only cure one, had you picked the side, she did that with the knowledge that, like, she's vulnerable to you now. If you wished to double cross her, you could, and maybe sometimes you did. But going back to the FIA, I don't think so. It was not the best choice because, again, you're just condemning her to that life, and it's horrible. What's even worse, of course, is if you also end up like having to deal honored by the FIA to cure you, which I'll get to in a second. I just want to go through the endings quickly, but I'll get back to that in a second. My, I think, second ending, the one I'd rank second in terms of like its placing, would be to cure Songbird. And now you might be thinking, why would you say that despite knowing of her tragedies and sympathizing with her and everything? And I'll put it to you in two ways. Either curing Songbird is not what she deserves, if you played your V like that, being a judgmental one, or being someone that says what goes around comes around, because like I think even Solomon Reed mentioned, playing grown-up games, you're gonna face grown-up consequences. Like, she, through the whole entire DLC, does not face her consequences. She lies, she cheats, she like manipulates everyone to a whim in this game of Survivor. And I get it, you want to survive, you don't want to die, but at the same time, what are you accosting yourself with? It's a lot of people you're burning. With that as well, I think also if you take her to the spaceship and all that, and now the other side of the coin, even if you don't think that she should be judged, that she deserves a second chance, that she deserves to live because she has never lived her life fully. Remember, she was robbed, I think, of this decision at 19 already by the FIA, so she has never really experienced adulthood. She was naive at the time. So even if you think, despite all that, she deserves to live, and which is a noble thing to think, I want to put it to you this way in the Cure, the reason why I still hang back on the Cure ending. When she goes up in that rocket and everything, and she gets cured up top there, a lot of things can go down. We're never told what really happens. We probably know she makes a recovery, based on the shards we find in Dogtown and based on the feedback and stuff that we get back, but like, we're never really told about the entire thing. Now, first things first, let's just think about the utilitarian thing. We had to kill Reed to get that ending. Reed, despite his code and stuff, and I get it, he would have probably pulled the trigger on us as well, because he lives by the code and dies by the code. But Reed, for me, was a noble man with misguided interests, and he was there for us during everything. And sure, as I said, he might have done the same had he been in our shoes and we tried to stop him, but I don't think Reed deserves to die, honestly. I also don't think like we need to burn like that. Now, when it comes to utilitarianism as well, the FIA has painted Songbird as a target. Even if she's healed and stuff like that, even if she's on the moon, she's gonna be a target for her entire life, having to hide or be on the run the whole time. She had a rogue AI from Blackwall probably in her head. It's not to say they cured her when she went up there. Look at what that rogue AIs from Blackwall did in the bunker when Yui had to fight her. Those rogue AIs are powerful and not understood by almost anyone. Someone like Anders Hellman, who designed the damn relic, is so scared of the rogue AIs from Blackwall, he does not even know how to classify them when you reveal some of the information you do from the DLC. So, even if you got the best rippers and stuff up there, if that rogue AI was to come loose, it would be catastrophic for everything around you. Be it on the moon, be it in Night City, be it on the net, be it anywhere. It could be catastrophic in the long run. And of course, not even thinking about utilitarianism, let's look at just the person itself, Songbird. When you send her up to the moon, I want you to imagine the state she's in. She fell unconscious, obviously, before that. And if we think back about the other endings and stuff like that, when you play the ending where you're trying to stop her, you get to relive a lot of her memories. And in the end, a lot of her memories tend to disappear. They're getting erased by the black wall completely. And in the end of that ending, she had nothing left, not a single memory. The only memory she had left when the Black Rule erased everything, and that ending was you embracing her. That is all she had left. Likely she will be in a similar state in this ending when she falls unconscious on the way to the space station. Her memories will have been consumed by Blackwall and everything. She will have nothing left. And when you think possibly how she yearned to go back to New York and stuff, there's nothing in New York for her. Keep in mind, there's a line said by Reed that they had years ago made a grave for Songbird in Calgary, in New York, which means likely that the assumption was she died. They made a cover story that she died, meaning her friends are gone. They don't know who she is anymore. She cannot go back to New York to her apartment and everything. She has no life there left. And being on the run from the FIA and stuff like that, I don't think she can take risks to go where she wants. She's completely cornered herself. Despite being free, she's still being cornered or hunted. You know, you could be free, but you could still be hunted. And this is the ending that also draws the most parallels, because V and Songbird is essentially a parallel story. Two people dying of something they had no control almost over. They made mistakes in their past, horrible mistakes in their past. They've lost a lot of people. They've burned a lot of people in their past. And now they're sitting with a disease and they're dying. Both desperate to survive and stuff like that, but both going to get the same results. This ending feels a lot for me, the same as this new ending that you get in the main game, where the FIA heals you, it cures you, but in the process you fell into a 2-year coma. By the time you wake up, everyone you know is gone. And the life you lived before, you can never live again. The chrome implants that you cannot use in your body anymore, you can never be a mercenary again in Night City. The people you know are all gone. Pan Am left the city. Judy's moved on. Misty is leaving. Like in the ending, you have Misty leaving for Poland. Victor has become a Zetatech employee. So, I mean, he's just a working man now. Everyone is gone. And you can just blend into the faces of the crowd. You'll just be a nobody in Life City. It's something that Dexter Deshawn touched on, and a lot of people have noticed it. To say, like, do you want to live a life to ripen your old age or die in a blaze of glory? And it's one of those decisions you have to make. But honestly, the space station kind of ending coincides a lot with me with the same ending for V in the coma. Sure, you live, but are you alive? It's the thing. And the last ending, truly the last ending, and I never thought I'd say this in a lot of times, but killing Songbird, that ending, number one. I'd never think a piece of media would convince me that killing someone, when there were so many other options actually, would be the best ending possible for that person. But I am genuinely going to say it, that killing Songbird, I think, is the best ending. Not for what she did necessarily to us, not for telling her she should face her consequences even, which obviously, if you feel she should be responsible, this is a valid ending and this is a valid way for her to get that. But just for the mere fact that if you play that ending, despite her trying to stop you, despite her begging for you and stuff, she goes through the stages of grief and that again through death, and finally she goes through denial, she goes through anger, she tries to bargain with you again, she goes through depression, but finally she goes through acceptance. When she goes through those memories, when she shares with you how scared and afraid she is because of the Black Hole, and how she wishes she did not make the mistakes, the one thing she does is she finally accepts it when she embraces you in her apartment. It's a really touching ending, and when obviously you came there to help Reed, but when she begs you to let her die because she'd rather be dead than be their lapdogs, it's at that moment you realize she's accepted it. She's no longer deaf. It's really a heartbreaking revelation in that thing, but I honestly think there was no way out. The way the cards fell in that story, the way she tried to play it through, the way she kind of had maybe blind optimism, that was, I think, the only realistic outcome was Somi biting the dust. And as I said, maybe perhaps you think different, that she deserves to cure stuff, which could be valid, but at the end of the day, I think the only freedom she genuinely has left is in death. That's a really heavy thing to end off with, but it generally is. And I would have said the same for V, even when you look at V being the parallels. Now, I wouldn't say the other endings of V, like the suicide ending and all that, is the way to go. And I wouldn't say I like a lot of people love the Don't Fear the Reaper ending with Johnny going into Blaze of Glory, or siding with Rogue and going into Blaze of Glory and stuff. I think that's valid endings as well. But I still think the best ending out there for both you and Somi is where she accepts death and she's with someone she trusts, and she's with someone who embraces her and tells her it's okay. And for me, the same is with the Elder Caldos. I never went into the Elder Caldos, and sure, I did go a little bit into the Elder Caldos ending to say maybe there's a chance, a small chance, a minuscule chance, because Pan Am won't give up on you. But in the end, I chose the Elder Caldos ending all those years ago purely because I thought I would finally be free and finally be surrounded by loved ones. And even if I die, I get to spend my last months with them. And think about real life as well. Would you rather not want that? Would you rather not want to be just surrounded by loved ones and cherished memories and all that? And perhaps just be content with that rather than desperately trying to survive despite everything and at a huge cost. I generally think so.
So yeah, those are my thoughts. I honestly think I need to take drugs now to feel a little bit better, but yeah, these thoughts, these feelings I've had have not stopped circling my head. I don't know how this game has managed to get me so immersed from day one, but it has. The things I feel for all the characters, the what ifs I have, everything. Every time I second guess my decisions, every time I have doubts, I know I made the best choices that I personally would have made. And yet again, I still find myself asking, but was it really? It's incredible what this game does. And I do tip my hat to CD Projekt Red for not giving up on their project. Really, I'm excited for what lies ahead. But that is it. Thank you so much for giving us a watch. Please, if you have your own views and stuff like that, I know you guys will have, leave it in the comments below. We can discuss and everything. Obviously, how you guys role play V and the perceptions you have with V will be different from mine. So I'd love to hear them. But anyways, thank you again for watching. You guys stay safe. We'll chat soon. And I'll see you guys next time.